Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos condoles His Excellency President of Iran on the victims of the Iranian passenger plane that crashed in South Isfahan. Oman Vision 2014 education sector discusses education future in the Sultanate and calls for determining obstacles in educational field. The Sultanate inaugurates initiative for developing judicial system for solving labor market and operation cases. And the National Business Center inaugurates entrepreneurs platform in the Knowledge Oasis Muscat. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to His Excellency Dr. Hassan Rouhani, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, on the victims of the Iranian passenger plane that crashed in South Isfahan. The dialogue session of education sector in the Vision Oman 2040 discussed the current reality of education and its future. This vision calls for transformation in production in various sectors of the state, especially in the education and economy. The vision of 2040 analyzing the education process, focusing on the human and society within the transformation on production at various levels. The vision is considered as a main reference during the next 2 decades. The Sultanate recently inaugurated an initiative aimed to develop legislative system for solving cases of labor and employment issues. This initiative is following and supported by the Implementation Support and Follow-up Unit according to the Clear Indications, Performance and Central Control Board. The initiative included 4 strategies for facing challenges related to the length of issuance of labor cases, in addition to the issuance of conflicting promise negatively, with ease for practicing commercial business in the Sultanate. The initiative is expected to come up with a number of benefits, such as uplifting the efficiency of judges concerned and employees of the Ministry of Manpower, in addition to raise the level of compliance of provisions and decrease the time period for solving conflicts to at least 200 days, which will lead to support the business environment and improving the labor market conditions. The National Business Center, in cooperation with Oman Oil Company, Oman India Fertilizer Company and Oman Telecommunications Company, launched the entrepreneurial platform at NBC in Knowledge Oasis Muscat. The event was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Asinadi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. More details in the following report.
Aiming to serve entrepreneurs from the start of an idea to a fully established company, the National Business Center launched the entrepreneurial platform at the Knowledge Oasis Muscat in cooperation with Oman Oil Company, Oman India Fertilizer Company, and Oman Telecommunications Company. The inauguration ceremony witnessed the signing agreement of a cooperation program between the 4 partners to manage and operate the entrepreneurial platform.
The difference between this hub and other initiatives is that instead of looking at the entrepreneur, it now looks at the companies who want to help entrepreneurs but do not know how to do it. So when they come to this hub, they basically bring in their strength, their capability, and live within an eco-environment to promote talent and to promote new ventures. I also think the difference between this hub and the previous initiatives, it looks at acceleration of projects. So it looks at the project that goes from a small or a micro company to a medium size and a large company. So it's an accelerator. And I think it's very important we see accelerators, because for the last 3 to 4 years, we have concentrated on young entrepreneurs, but rather very small initiatives. When you come to the accelerator, you bring in partnerships, you bring in bigger companies that will invest in your company and make it even a bigger company beyond the small market.
The platform aims to assist SMEs by creating a fully equipped center that aids in the creation and flourishing of entrepreneurs, from the conception of an idea to a fully established company. In addition to that, the center also hosts companies that are already established, acting as a hub of support and growth. The project is part of the strategy to support entrepreneurship in the Sultanate and to strengthen the SME sector to be an effective contributor to a diversified and innovative economy. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Activating the cooperation aspects between the Sultanate and Egypt in the field of higher education, represented in student and academic exchange, topped the meeting between His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Saud al-Bimani, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University, and His Excellency Dr. Khalid bin Atif Abdul Ghaffar, Egyptian Minister of Higher Education and Research, during his visit to the university. His Excellency, the guest, also discussed with His Excellency Advisor of the Minister of Education the cooperation aspects between the two countries in the field of education. The latest statistics of Oman Autism Society indicated that around 5,000 people are suffering from autism spectrum disorder in the Sultanate. The society, during honoring ceremony, revealed on a higher autism school project which will focus on teach and qualify children suffering from autism. Autism affects some children from the early years of their life with regard to their communication and interaction with all aspects of their life and people around them. Tireless efforts are being exerted in this field, focusing on raising awareness among members of the society on autism spectrum disorder and training parents and teachers on ways to deal with this segment of the society. Members and volunteers of the society were also honored at the end of the event. His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, presided over the honoring ceremony. Still to come on News Bulletin, the NBO Oman Open Golf Tournament is concluded.
هل تعرفين سر طعم كيري الرائع؟ طبيعتنا الكريمة وخيراتها الطازجة وعطاؤها الواسع وكل عنايتنا تعطينا أجود أنواع الحليب مع لمستنا الخاصة الغنية بالقشطة. هذا سر طعم كيري. كيري طعم روعة من خير الطبيعة. كيري كيري كيري.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Iran's foreign minister today called for an end of internationally supported proxies and arms funding in the Middle East and said there was nothing stopping Iran and Saudi Arabia from working together. Addressing a meeting of Moscow's Valdai Club on the Middle East, Mohammed Zarif said the region was seeing a new wave of foreign intervention led by US obsessions. He stated his country's position for a political resolution to the Syrian and Yemeni civil wars and criticized the incursion of Turkish troops into northern Syria, despite understanding their concerns around U.S. support for Kurdish forces there. Zarif also said that the series of arms deals signed by U.S. President Donald Trump during his visit to the region last year was a regional policy that had not worked for the past 40 years. Zarif added that Iran and sometimes Russia had been the easy target to blame for instability, when actually it made many mistakes, including support of former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein, and extremist groups had been homegrown. Hundreds of thousands of Magellanic penguins are gathered at Argentina's Punta Tombo Peninsula in the Patagonian Valdez Peninsula, preparing for their annual migration north. Having just completed their breeding season, the colony is full of adult birds and their near full-grown chicks. The penguins are approximately 50 centimeters tall. They have a broad crescent of white feathers that extends from just above each eye to the chin, with a small area of pink flesh on their faces. The warm weather birds breed in large colonies in southern Argentina and Chile and migrate north as far as southwestern Brazil between March and September. Rumbling Mount Sinabung of the Indonesian island of Sumatra has shot billowing columns of ash more than 5,000 meters into the atmosphere and had clouds down its slopes. The National Disaster Mitigation Agency said there were no fatalities or injuries from today morning eruption. Officials said that hot ash clouds traveled as far as 3 miles southward. The volcano, one of 3 currently erupting in Indonesia, was dormant of 4 centuries before exploding in 2010, killing 2 people. Another eruption in 2014 killed 16 people, while 7 died in a 2016 eruption. The Regional Volcanic Ash Advisory Center in Darwin, Australia, issued a red notice to airlines. Back in the Sultanate for more local news, a closing ceremony of the 4-day historical event NBO Oman Open Golf Tournament was held yesterday evening under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
NBO Oman Open, one of the highest level golfing competitions globally, watched by millions of people around the world, concluded its historical Oman tournament with Jos Luiten came on top of the final round at Al Moj Golf to be crowned the champion of the NBO Oman Open, the $1.75 million event. The 32-year-old Dutchman shot a 4 under 68 to finish on 16 under 272, 2 shots ahead of his friend England's Chris Wood. The perfect early season boost with a 6th European Tour title waiting for him. Jos Luiten said it felt great. He added,
"Very happy that I won this week, and it has been a great week, a great tournament. I love Oman, I love the golf course, I love the people. It's just been a great week, and I'm just thrilled to stand here with the trophy, and I'm looking forward to be back here very soon."
On this historical event, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said said,
"It's a great pleasure and a great honor for me. I'm very proud to have presided over the prize award ceremony this afternoon. Of course, this is really a very special and very great event for the Sultanate of Oman. It puts Oman on the map of the world for holding such event. This is a wonderful, wonderful golf course. My congratulations, first of all, to the winner, the Dutch player, who has, of course, according to all rules and all measures, he has won a tremendous championship. My congratulations to all those who have joined. At the end, as I said, my ambition is to see, inshallah, an Omani player competing in the top rank of the golfers of this great event.
In his speech, the NBO Chief Executive Officer Ahmed Al-Musalimi said that the NBO has grown and it certainly positioned Oman among the world's most memorable sports destinations, with all abundant attributes that the beautiful country has to offer, and thus looking forward to welcoming the world of golf back again next year. Amateur Azzan Al-Rumhi from Oman had enjoyed the professional experience with international golf players, and he said,
yes, it was a very exciting finish today. There were 5-6 players battling it out for the top prize, and I watched the last 3 groups myself. I went to the golf course and followed Chris Wood and Hugh Slaughton, and it was getting very tight, but at the end it was Hugh Slaughton who won by a couple of shots from Chris Wood.
Mr. Mundhir Al-Barwani said,
the tournament is excellent, and it came at the right time, and as you could see from the results, we have achieved the objective of showcasing Oman as one of the key golfing destinations.
And with regards to preparation program for young Omanis, he said,
we have a lot of programs. We started with the juniors and amateurs, and that programs is expanding in the schools at the junior levels. And one of the key elements on this particular tournament, we had a competition between the juniors and the professionals on the par 3, the smaller course, which I believe they went equal.
NBO concluded by saying that
it's a great achievement, I think, for Oman. As the National Bank of Oman, when we started the journey a couple of years back, we were always looking for a sports where can bring and showcase the beauty of the Sultanate, and you will not find better than the golf. It was a challenge. So we are really actually grateful for such a successful...
The successful achievements not only on showcasing the country as a top sports and tourism destination, but has also gave the world a view of vast opportunities that the Sultanate of Oman can offer. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Al-Mawj Golf, Muscat.
With the attendance of 100 participants from various military and security institutions, along with the private sector, Sultan's Oman Armed Forces organized a safety and security seminar. The seminar aims to acquaint the participants with the latest precautionary procedures of fires, risks and ways of preventing them. The seminar came within the framework of the joint cooperation and efforts exerted to ensure safety of armed forces facilities. The event discussed a number of topics related to challenges as well as the best means of extinguishing fire, in addition to strengthening cooperation among military and safety bodies, as well as private sector establishments. It also dealt on the importance of the regular maintenance of the fire safety and fire extinguishers. Sessions of the 5th meeting of the UN Arab Expert Committee on Geospatial Information Management started today. It's hosted by the Sultanate, represented by the National Survey Authority (NSA). The agenda of the meeting includes a number of topics such as annual report of the Arab Committee, the Arab experiences in using and developing geospatial work, in addition to the institutional frameworks and legal regulations. Wali of Al-Amarat office organized today a symposium on Sheikh Saeed bin Nasser Al-Kindi, aiming to shed light on this scholar's life and thoughts. The event was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Ahmed bin Saud Al-Siabi, Secretary General of the Grand Mufti's Office of the Sultanate. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi has more details in the following report.
Between the highlands and the banks of the Falaj of Al-Amirat, Sheikh Saeed bin Nasser Al-Kindi wrote down a long history of science and knowledge. The time at which students in packs traveled long distances to get an opportunity to learn from him. Hence, the symposium was held in an attempt to revive the memories of the Sheikh's life and thought.
We seem to have the habit of not documenting our history. I myself coming from the same family, and I'm here to learn about my grandfather history. The importance of history, as it is known, you will not be able to know your present and predict the future unless you know the history. So having all of these professors coming from Sultan Qaboos University and feeding us with valuable information, definitely it's adding value, and it is giving different perspective for the history of Al-Amrat and as a social reformer or political role.
The seminar discussed the biography, the scientific and social status of the Sheikh, as well as the pivotal role he played in the wilaya.
Sheikh Said bin Nasser was an eminent scholar in Oman, and he had so many students, and he left behind a legacy of so many different fatwas, and he was also a judge in Muscat. He had students, and so many people who descended from him are still eminent scholars in different areas of science.
The symposium also involved screening a short documentary that traced down the life of the Sheikh during his lifetime from 1888 to 1936 AD. He was not only a scholar, but also a judge, an active politician, and a social reformer. On the sideline of the event, some of the Sheikh's belongings during his lifetime were displayed, giving the audience a chance to contemplate upon the legacy of this late scholar. This seminar will pave the way for deep understanding of the thought penned down by Sheikh Said bin Nasser al-Kindi in particular, and the other scholars of the Wilaya of Al-Amirat. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
International uprising recorded today the highest levels since 2 weeks due to fears of tensions and unrest in the Middle East. Oman oil price increased today by 33% and reached 62 US dollars and 29 cents for the barrel in April delivery. The average price of Oman oil March delivery reached 66 US dollars and 32 cents for the barrel, increasing by 4 US dollars and 75 cents compared to the price of February delivery. The activities of the investments requests in different industrial estates witnessed a growth of 25% last January, as the total number of the investment requests reached 76 compared to 61 requests in the same period in 2017. Raisut Industrial Zone was the most visited area in January with a total of 14 investment applications. The public establishments for industrial estates expected doubling the investment applications during the upcoming period, especially after announcing recently the facilitations and incentives through its new investment portal. As the enlisted companies at the Muscat Securities Market, MSM continuing announcing cash dividends for 2017, which exceeds 270 million Oman Riyals. A state of caution and anticipation is being witnessed by investors in Muscat Securities Market. It's worth mentioning that the system of managing private documentations of MSM along with the completion schedule of these documents was approved. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos condoles His Excellency President of Iran on the victims of the Iranian passenger plane that crashed in South Isfahan. Oman Vision 2014 education sector discusses education future in the Sultanate and calls for determining obstacles in educational field. The Sultan inaugurates initiative for developing judicial system for solving labor market and operation cases. And the National Business Center integrates entrepreneurs platform in the Knowledge Oasis Muscat. And with that, come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios. Thanks for watching. Good night.